Hey there, Becca here from Inside the Square, going live on YouTube. I have just set up my microphone settings here. Hopefully it'll block the background noise because sure enough, at 10:59, they started vacuuming the hallway outside of my apartment. Because of course, why not do that right before someone's going live? Anywho, welcome to the live video here on my YouTube channel. I wanted to talk to you about my Custom Code Academy and the members area inside Squarespace. Custom Code Academy is my signature course on all things CSS for Squarespace, and I used to host it on Kajabi. I also checked out Podia, and those educational platforms are awesome, but as soon as Squarespace released the members area feature, I knew I had to switch. How could I teach a course about customizing Squarespace and not put it on Squarespace, right? Seemed like the obvious choice. So I set everything up inside a members area in Squarespace. Now, a members area acts kind of like a folder, if you will. And inside that folder, you can put any kind of content that you want people to access. Originally, I had set up Custom Code Academy as a portfolio. A portfolio can have different projects, and those projects can have new page sections. It seemed like the best choice. But when I was updating the content for 2021, which I just released, I realized I could not easily duplicate all of the content and just update the videos and links. I needed to rebuild everything. So I did, and I made it a lot better. I ended up turning the modules into individual pages so I could duplicate them. Now, why is duplicating so important? Because Squarespace now has membership payment plans. That's right. If you want to access a members area, you can set up 2 different payment options or as many as you like, but you can only have one payment option per member area, per folder, if you will. So when I recreated Custom Code Academy for the launch, which just happened last week, very exciting, I needed to have one members area for the payment plan, one members area for the pay in full, because I wanted a bit of a discount for people that were willing to pay in full and just dive right into all the content. But I also had all of my students that existed from 2020. I wanted them to be able to access the old course and the new stuff. So what I ended up doing was creating 3 different members areas. Now, inside each one of these, there's a main page that says, here are all of the things, all of the links, all of the information. And then after that, I have a couple of extra pages where I list details about, the modules, the resources, links to past monthly Q&A session recordings, all the content they're going to want to access later in life. Now, here's where it gets tricky. I have the 3 different member areas, right? And I have the individual pages. Members can't bounce from one area to another. They're assigned to their main members area unless they create multiple logins and multiple get access to these multiple member areas. They pretty much are limited to just one. So I had to make sure that my module 1 URL would be different for each members area. Does that make sense so far? I know it sounds a little complicated. I was looking forward to sharing my screen for this, but unfortunately, I don't have the ability to share my screen. So that's a bummer. So I'm trying to talk through it, and I hope it makes sense. I'll probably do a little write-up and with some screenshots and pop them into the description of this video. So if you're watching later in life, you can jump back into it. Also, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to post them there in the live chat. I've got it open on my distracting computer monitor over here. So feel free to ask me anything about the members area, Custom Code Academy, or code in general. I'm happy to help. Alrighty, so quick recap. Members area in Squarespace. I moved my course entirely to Squarespace and launched the updated version last week for customcodeacademy.com. If you want to go there to learn more about it, it's where I teach you everything I know about Squarespace. I moved it to Squarespace because if I'm teaching Squarespace, I might as well host the course there, right? But recently, they launched payment plans, which was a game changer. That wasn't available with the first launch. And now that I can have payment plans, I wanted to make sure I enabled that too. So how did I set this up? I created multiple member areas, and I duplicated the content for each member's area. So inside Custom Code Academy, there's one main page, and then all the modules gets an additional page. I have an entire set of pages for the people that are in the members area for the payment plan. I duplicated those pages, same content, same layout, same everything, slightly different URL, and put them into a second members area. That second members area is for pay in full. And then all of my students who were already a part of Custom Code Academy, I wanted them to still access last year's content and the updated stuff. So I duplicated the pages again, and I put them into the main folder for students that already had access to the 2020 Custom Code Academy members area. So that was how I set it up. Organized it all so that all my content was actually hosted on Vimeo. I didn't want to use YouTube links that had different privacy settings and weird things going on there. I wanted to make sure that my content was hosted in a secure place so only people on those pages could access it. So I set up my videos inside Vimeo. For the content links themselves, I have a transcript and a resource guide for every single video lesson of every single module. That's 6 modules about custom CSS for Squarespace. Ended up being a little over, I think, 20 lessons in total. So we're talking about over 40 PDFs that I needed to keep track of. I actually host those in a Google Drive and have the link available on all of those pages. Now, why did I do that? Made it super easy for that duplication process. Once I set up all the module and lesson pages, I just duplicated the page, put it in the new members area, and all of those links that I had set to PDF, open a new tab, they were all going to work exactly the same. And another added bonus, let's say I made a spelling error or wanted to update something on a PDF, something needed to change, I can just upload the new version in Google Drive, and I don't have to go back and update all of the different links in all of the different member areas. So again, member area acts like a folder. Inside that folder, I had a series of pages that I duplicated for each member area. And on those pages, I had links to my private settings Vimeo videos set up for the content. And then for the transcripts and resource guides on those pages, I linked to a shared document in my Google Drive. That way, if I updated the shared document, all of the pages would get updated all at once. So that's how I manage all of the content for this huge course for 3 different member areas inside my Squarespace website. So again, that was a payment plan enabled on one, pay in full enabled on the other. And then the last member area was for people who had actually signed up previously. I wanted them to access the old content and the updated version. So I actually have 3 different member areas set up. So that's the new and improved Custom Code Academy. It sounds a little complicated, but so many people had questions about member areas. So I wanted to hop in here live and tell you all about them. It was actually a fairly straightforward process once I wrapped my head around the concept that a members area is just a folder. It's just a different kind of folder. And inside that folder, you can have anything you would put on a Squarespace website. I am super excited to be hosting my course on Squarespace inside the Squarespace platform. It was also a lot more flexible for me. Many of you know that's how I got into custom CSS. I used to be a website designer back in the day, and I love customizing those sites. I found some limitations customizing Podia and customizing Kajabi to the point where I really wasn't happy with how it looked. They do have other features for tracking information, like how far in progress a student has made, that kind of information. But inside Custom Code Academy, you get access to everything right out of the gate. You go through it at your own pace. It's there when you need it. If you hop in there and you immediately want to study something about fonts, head on over to that lesson and dig in. You don't have to do it in the order that I've laid it out, although I recommend it. But because I'm not tracking that kind of information, I didn't feel like I needed those kind of stats. So that's why I'm really happy that I left Kajabi to focus on Squarespace entirely. I didn't need the extra data that they provide. Nothing against Kajabi or Podia, by the way. Those platforms are fabulous for their own reasons. It just wasn't perfect for what I wanted to share. And the opportunity to teach people about Squarespace on Squarespace. How could I not take that, right? So customcodeacademy.com, if you want to check out the different members area that I created there. For each one of those member area folders, it's either a payment plan or pay in full. So that's why I have multiple variations there. Now, again, if you have any questions about it, feel free to pop it into the chat there or in the chat below. I know I have a couple of people who mentioned they were in the Australia region and couldn't join me live. So if you're watching this replay and you got a question for me, let me know below. Again, apologies for not being able to share my screen. I thought that was going to be a feature on here, and I discovered just a few minutes ago that it really isn't that easy here on YouTube. So I'll take a few screenshots of this setup, and I'll make you a little fancy flow chart thing to put on a landing page. So check out the description beneath this live replay so you can check out this step-by-step process for setting up a complicated members area in Squarespace. So that's going to be it. I'll go ahead and wrap it up since I can't show you all of that fun stuff. But thanks for joining me live. I appreciate seeing that number count go up and all of your smiling avatar faces. So thanks for that. We'll go ahead and call it a wrap for this Friday, and I'll get to typing up that description and post a link below so you can see how this membership site setup works now that payment plans are available in Squarespace. Very exciting. Thanks again for watching, and most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now.